Are you on track for retirement? If you're between 50 and 65, staring down that golden horizon with a nest egg between $1 and $5 million, you might be wondering, how do I stack up against the average retiree? Well, today we're going to be diving into that exact question. And in this video, we'll unpack data from the Federal Reserve to benchmark your progress. Spoiler alert, if you are in that $1 to $5 million range, you are ahead of the curve. Stick around because we'll break it down step by step and I'll share how to keep you motivated. First things first, net worth is just your assets minus your liabilities. Think savings, investments, home equity minus debts and loans. Now, when we talk about average net worth, we'll refer to two different numbers. One is the mean and the other is the median. The mean is what you get if you added up everyone's net worth and just divided it by that number of people. It's the arithmetic average. But here's the catch. The mean is skewed upward by super wealthy individuals. Think billionaires. It's going to drive that average way up. The median, on the other hand, is the middle value. When you line up everyone's net worth 1 to 100, and then you just pick that 50th right in the middle. According to the 22 Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, or the SCF, the median is often way more realistic for everyday folks because it isn't distorted by the super wealthy individuals. Why does this matter for retirees? Well, it gives you a grounded benchmark, not some inflated figure that is going to just probably bum you out. For retirees, these numbers can help you gauge if your lifestyle dreams are feasible, especially with rising costs like healthcare today. All right, let's get to the good stuff. The data. We'll focus on retiree age groups, which means we can infer from the SCF's breakdown for ages 65 to 74 and 75 and older, as these represent typical retirement years. All figures are in 2022 dollars, and it comes straight from that Federal Reserve's report of the SCF. So starting with that 65 to 74 age group, in 2022, the median net worth was $409,900, up a solid 33% from $308,800 in 2019. The mean, it jumped 27% to almost 1.8 million, up from 1.4 million. This is primarily driven by rising home prices and stock market gains post-2019. Now, for those 75 and older, the median net worth in 2022 was just over $335,000. It is a more modest 14% increase from $295,000 back in 2019. The mean tells a different story here. It surged 43% to just over $1.6 million, up from $1.1 million. This big gap between the mean and median, especially in this age group, highlights the difference between the super wealthy individuals and families raising that average way higher than the typical person right in the middle. Overall, from 2019 to 2022, net worth rose broadly thanks to a hot housing market and stock market outperforming inflation, but older families saw the largest percentage gains in most areas. If we average these retiree groups for a ballpark average retiree net worth, a median would be around $370,000, while the mean would be just upwards of $1.7 million in 2022. But remember, median's your more realistic yardstick. For most retirees, they're closer to that $300,000 or $400,000 range. Does that surprise you? Many pre-retirees underestimate how far ahead of the game they actually are. So now for the exciting part. How do you stack up if you are in that category of $1 to $5 million? If you're in this range, give yourself a big pat on the back. You are way ahead of the curve. For context, the median net worth for 65 to 74-year-old is just over $400,000. And for 75 plus, it's about $335,000. Even the means for these categories are $1.8 and $1.1 million respectively. So even at just $1 million, you're already surpassing the median by over double and getting pretty close to the mean for these categories. So if we zone out to look at all percentiles across US families, $1 million puts you around the 85th percentile or top 15% nationwide. What about 5 million? That would be above the 95th percentile or top 5% in the country. But here's where it can get real. Being ahead doesn't mean that you can coast. Why might you need more than average is longevity. People are living longer than ever, so your savings have to stretch even further. Plus, with inflation concerns, healthcare concerns, and lifestyle choices, this is all going to become more complicated in the coming years. Market risk and volatility can dent your portfolio if not managed correctly. That's why diversification is key. Spreading risk across stocks, bonds, and real estate can help you maximize your chances of success. Key takeaways from the 2022 Federal Reserve SCF: retiree median net worth is around $300,000 to $400,000 and notably up from 2019. but the means are higher than medians due to wealth concentration. And if you've got $1 to $5 million net worth, you're really crushing it compared to most, ahead of the median and even challenging the mean in a lot of categories. You're already in a strong position, but keep building wealth and implementing smart strategies to stay ahead of the curve, especially because concerns about longevity, health, and inflation are going to keep getting bigger and bigger. If this helped, hit that like button and subscribe for more retirement content. And please drop a comment below. What do you think is the appropriate net worth for retirement? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.